Hey guys, welcome back to WCC. It's Derek again, this time with a Great Nature Deck Doctor video. It's just a standard deck. As you can see, it's the World Champions deck. Pretty sure most of you guys and I have copied this deck once Andre won Worlds. So we're just going to get right into it, converting this into a premium deck. Super easy. So my first change, actually I probably should explain first. So we're going to run the Parrot. It's a draw one straight up. It's good against Excel matchups, and it's just an amazing starter. Blackboard Parrot, the old one with Telescope Rabbit. You can use those. Telescope Rabbit you can definitely use if you're not running the rest of the engine that I'm running, but I'll probably get more to that once I get to the cards. So I'm going to take out 4 Hamskay for 3 Talented Rhino, which is one of your best finishing cards. It's an amazing push card, guard restrict, no zeros, just locks out pretty much grade 0 nulls. And one of the Big Belly, the pretty much a Crayon Tiger, but a grade 3, a searchable Crayon Tiger. Just an amazing card. If it's successful, can pretty much restand any of your rear guards. If Rhino's on your Excel circle, yeah, you're restanding a guard restrict rear guard, which is nuts. Now, Leopold is their best V grade 3 out there. Honestly saying, you could probably play Hamskay as well and play the Hamskay engine, get 2 Excels, and then just ramp your opponent. Now, this card is actually surprisingly good because of XL2. You can ditch 2 to get 2 XL circles and then draw those 2 cards back. So you don't lose out at all, and it just makes it so that you ramp up real hard, like straight up from the get-go. If, for example, you don't have the funds to, I guess, apply the rest of the deck, the extra Excel circle can kind of replace the card that I'm going to be talking next. So let me just remove these grade 2s, and we're going to pretty much replace all these grade 2s with some of the older stuff that I guess the older players would be using. The MVP of Great Nature for Premium, Crayon Tiger. So back to this, Crayon Tiger restands a rear guard, which is essentially another attack. So if, for example, you have 1 Crayon Tiger and that's pretty much the only restanding card you have, you can substitute Hamskay and replace that 1 XL circle to pretty much say that it's another attack. So it's a nice alternative. It's a cheaper alternative if you can't afford Crayon Tigers. I think it's probably the most expensive card that you'll probably get out of this deck. But yeah, if you don't feel you want Crayon Tiger, you can substitute for Hamskay and then run the grade 2 that pretty much is the Hamskay engine in standard. So this boy, you can run this guy instead of Crayon Tiger just to get that extra Excel to replace its functionality. And it's good because XL2 draws you 2. You have the cards to be able to place on those rearguard circles. So the next cards, well, the next few cards I'll be running, 4 Compass Line and 3 Bicolor Baku. I think these 2 cards will explain themselves once I replace these grade 2s, grade 1s, sorry. So we're going to take out majority of these and 1 Monoculus Tiger, and we're going to replace it with pretty much a whole new engine. So as people have said before, and I know in the previous video with Solemn and Kevin Cho, 4 Mikei Saburo is a staple in Great Nature Premium. The card gives you pretty much utility to get any grade 3 you want, and with the combo with Compass Line and Bicolor Baku, early game you can rush, sack one of your rear guards to pretty much salvage for any grade 3 you want, saves you from being grade stuck. It's just an amazing card. This actually comes in a rare, so you don't actually need the Fighters Collection one. I mean, if you want to bling out your deck, go ahead. But yeah, this card is a rare, easy to access, it's cheap, like 20 cents, super easy. And then 3 Coiling Duckbill, Solemn's favorite card. I really wish I could play 4 of these, but the slots are just really tight in this deck. 2 Stride Fighters, again, would really love to run more of these, because your grade 3s are actually like legit. Your Leopold, you want to keep riding. Your Rhinos, you want to keep as rear guard. And your Big Belly is just a Crayon Tiger. Like this card, you can actually run more of this, probably swap out one Rhino, but the Rhino is good for a play that I'll explain later. And then 2 Honolly makes the Excel matchup a little bit easier. Nothing more to say there. You can actually call this out during the battle phase using El Mirage, which stops your opponent from multi-attacking. Really good against Ezel, but because Ezel is, I guess, one of those decks that doesn't use a lot of Counterblast, other than for Spearex, it doesn't really mind paying that Counterblast 1 cost for Honolly. For your triggers, in this deck, I don't tend to run fronts just because my rear guards restand. So to replace those, we're going to play 7 of these crits. So 4 of the premium collection ones, 3 of just vanilla ones, and 1 draw. Now 5 draws, 7 crits. 7 crit is nice just to pump on that Rhino or whatever rear guard is on that Excel circle, and you're just going to keep restanding with that rear guard. And your rear guards actually get surprisingly big in this deck, and it's just real good pressure. It's pretty much like giving all your furry animals the Blaster Blade effect. And it's like Royal Paladins, but you're playing in Zoo. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Now, people also wonder why heals can be played in a different way. And this deck is one of those decks where I don't actually run 4 V heals. So I run 2 V heals, obviously for the 10k, but I do run 2 of the counter charge. So my reasoning for that, if in a situation where you need to G-Guard into like Spangle and you're setting up for your Zoa turn, going into the next turn, you can actually just ditch this counter charge and have the cost for Zoa ready without having to waste one of your other G-Guards that counter charges for you. You can actually opt to play 4 heals just because in this meta, damage is really friendly, but it's just there for resource. If you ever need a counter charge, it's there, especially if you're counter charging, but you might not be going into a Zoa turn, but you might be going into Bolorol, and you need the counter charge to restand with Crayon or Big Belly. It's super good because restanding a Rhino with like massive power, 40k, 50k even, and you're just bashing, hit a crit, oh man, that rear guard is the next Blaster Blade. Okay, so let's just talk about, I guess, the cost of this deck. If you take a look at the grade 3s, Leopold comes from standard, so if you have a standard deck already, deck is pretty much ready to go. Rhino is a common, so it's like a 10-cent card. Like Big Belly and Crayon Tiger are really the only 2 cards that you really need to be paying for. So Big Belly now, I think it's like $3-4, not that much. And then Crayon Tiger is probably the most expensive card in this deck. It's probably more expensive than your Leopold, depending on where you buy it. And it makes sense. Crayon Tiger restands a rear guard, and it's so nuts. It draws you a card, and my god, card is just amazing. So due to, I guess, limited accessibility for this card, yes, it might be a bit more expensive, but if you really want to play the full potential of Great Nature, definitely want to get more of these. These counter charge heals isn't worth that much. Mikasa actually comes in a rare, like I said before, so easy to access 20-cent cards. Same with Coiling Duckbill, this is a rare. This comes from Revival Collection, this comes from Premium Collection as a box topper, so most of these cards are actually quite easy to access. And if you feel like you need more Monoculus Tiger, you can probably drop some of these cards for Monoculus Tiger, and this card comes in Premium Collection. So most of the deck is really accessible, except obviously for Crayon Tiger, but can't really do much about that. So just jumping into the strides quickly. 3 Managama Aurum, the Premium Collection stride. Premium Collection is out now. Make sure to check out WCC TCG. We do have Premium Collection singles, so you can pick it up there. This card is actually pretty cool. You can get like 7 drives, and if you 7 drives and you check 7 triggers, yeah, you're pretty much a god. So that means like your top 14 cards were triggers, or your top 4 plus 7, yeah, 11 are triggers, which is completely insane. And this card is actually good if you hit a normal unit, you can pump your rhinos to big power and just keep restanding that rhino, really, really pressuring. Following from that, 3 Bolorol, the card that made Great Neutral real good back then in the olden Geo days. Card pretty much bumps up power like crazy, especially late game when you flip all the cards in your G zone. Your rear guards hit massive power, 70, 80k even, and it's just an amazing card. And then we have one of this Wolf Boy. If you ever feel that you need to, well, you're about to deck out, you can return 4 cards if successful. A Funk. This card you can actually change for the Progenitor Dragon, just in case you feel like you're gonna die next turn. You can just Progenitor Dragon, because you can access all your grade 3s because of Mike. Mike searches your Leopold, you can dish your Leopold into a Progenitor Dragon. If you feel like you're gonna die, yeah, you're safer on 1 extra turn, I guess. But a Funk is there for those decks that are annoying, like Kagero. And with the new Heroic Evolution set, I'm pretty sure people will be running it around testing Premium Kagero. Yeah, nothing more to say there. GB8, you draw heaps, Spangle heaps, and then drop your whole hand, everything gains massive power, this gains massive crits. Can't say more to that. Honestly, this card is replaced by a late game Bolorol, where you boost your boosters instead. But yeah, you can swap that out for other things if you want. Maybe a Friendly Gaze if you feel like you are in a tight spot and can't like sack or do whatever. Friendly Gaze just refunds your whole field. Zoa, pretty much your win con in this deck actually. I have, I guess, 1 on first stride just because I've sacked with this guy, and then Rhino becomes big. I have like double Crayon Tiger, 1 big belly. Yeah, just crazy amount of multi-attacks. But yeah, Zoa combined with Rhino and Monoculus Tiger, depending on what you mill with Monoculus Tiger, your opponent can only G-Guard or only G-Guard and use Great 1s and 2s, which is incredibly hard to guard, especially even with OTT running around, like just drawing heaps, but still not having enough to guard. It's just so hard. But against Bermuda, oh man, like Bermuda, drop 1 Ellie, damn, that's GG for you. But yeah, Zola's still an amazing card, can run to just win games. Against Gizeh, freest card, freest way to win. You stride Zola, drop these 2, yeah, give your opponent a handshake, go to the next round. 2 Spangle, your Spangle sets up for your Zola turn, for your Bolorol late game. Pretty much the card refunds any dead cards in your hand, so you just throw cards, use Spangle, get them all back, and good days. You draw into like another G-Guard, another Perfect Guard, you can just Perfect Guard your next attack, which is completely amazing. And yeah, you just draw into your combo pieces like Crayon Tiger, Big Belly, and just cards to fuel. You can probably draw into your Monoculus Tiger. Say if you're missing for your Zoa combo, you only have Rhino and you have Leopold to Ultimate Stride, you can sack into a Monoculus Tiger and pretty much win the game from there. Ardillo, just counter charge engine. If you ever need the counter charge, say if you don't have a counter charge heal, you can just G-Guard a V heal into that and you get a counter charge anyways. Sankalpa, just a nice big shield. You target one of your Monoculus Tigers or anything that is 8k or above. If you have multiple Excel circles and just open rear guards, it just makes your Leopold or whatever your Vanguard is big power. You draw 1 extra card. It could be a combo piece, can be a heal, PG. Yeah, it's just an amazing card to guard with. Same thing with Ardillo. Oh, sorry, the other one was Kundalini, my bad. Ardillo, it's just big shield, nothing to say there. And then Almirage. So I said before, you can call Honolly during the battle phase with Almirage. You can opt to run 1 more of this by taking out the GB8 maybe, and run 2. Just disrupting your opponent's plays in the battle phase with Honolly is like completely amazing. But yeah, that's pretty much the premium deck, nothing more to say here. If you want to pick up this deck, or if you want to pick up stuff for this deck, such as the premium collection stuff, check out wcctcg.com, and we have premium collection singles as well as some of the singles from Heroic Evolution and obviously for future sets. This deck is a really fun deck. I bring it to locals a lot, just play, and it's not like a completely crazy deck. It's sustainable, it's fun. You try to stack, and come on, it's a colorful deck. I'm pretty sure everybody likes a colorful deck. It's not dull like maybe Luard or something. But yeah, the deck is good. Actually, before I end this video, maybe go into a little bit of the matchups with this deck. Ichikishima is hands down hardest like matchup for this deck. If you can somehow survive and then go into a Zoa, that's probably your, I guess, best option. Or if you contest for first stride with this deck, and then you stride first, you pop a Rhino, double Crayon, and then you just ramp your opponent, then you might win. But Ichikishima, just because of its nature and versing every other deck, it's just a bad matchup. Luard, same thing. Like, they play a really, really aggressive grade 2 game. This deck actually plays a really good grade 2 game, surprisingly, with Poisoning Duckbill and Mike, and then these two as 11k bases. It actually runs a really good grade 2 game. So it's a 50-50, I think. But if you give Luard first stride, you're pretty dumpstered. Yeah. Against DI doesn't have early game, so you can just ramp DI and then contest for first stride, go into Aurum, sack triggers, sack whatever, pump your Rhino, just keep attacking, bash, 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 bash. And yeah, you pretty much win DI. Ezel, this deck sustains a little bit better against Ezel because of the 11k bases. It makes it so that if you hit a damage trigger, you're on 21k, so their 19s can't hit. But yeah, those are like pretty much the big decks at the moment. So this deck is one of those decks where if you're in a team tournament and you want to bring an extra deck, that third deck, you don't know what to bring, this is the deck that you could be choosing. And honestly saying, if my teammate hadn't chosen Bermuda Triangle, like, this deck is definitely an option to take. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this Great Nature video. Hope you like it. Please like and subscribe to our channel. Peace out, and I love you guys. Bye bye.